Hello and welcome to Online Wealth Now, where you can own it. We're going to learn, earn and prosper now. My name's David, welcome to the channel. Now what I'd like to do today is just an introduction video to my channel. The aim of this channel is to show a journey from an employee to an online entrepreneur. I strongly believe that it's possible with a computer, with an internet connection, to be able to make a living, to earn money, working from home, working online. And what we're going to do is to explore that. Is it possible? The internet is a wild place. There's all sorts of information out there. You can see all sorts of claims about making $300, $500, $1,000 or even more every day. Now, do we take that at face value? We're going to have to dive deep to sort the fact from fiction. What's legitimate? What tools are real? What tools give value? And what out there just doesn't work? So, I'd like to invite you to come with me on this journey. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself and what's brought me to this point and why I'm going to go through this process and why I'm going to change my life, take ownership of it and create my own future for myself and my daughter. So I live in the southwest of England. I grew up here, I went to school here. I first moved away to study. I studied business, specialised in marketing. When I finished this, I stayed on the campus. I became assistant manager of the student union bars. This gave me the same holidays as the students, and it's quite expensive to stay in the UK, pay the rent and food. Obviously I wasn't working, so I wasn't earning. We're seeing the first correlation there, trading time for money. This is something we're going to explore. Can we change that? So with a friend, we were looking, where could we go, where could we get more value for our money? We looked at different countries in Asia and ended up spending 5 weeks in India. Now, as a young man at this point, this is the furthest I'd ever travelled. I'd only ever been to France up to this point. And it was a real eye-opener. The colours, the sights, the sounds, the smells. It was so different from England. When we got back, I felt quite unsettled. Not that I'd lost myself, just that I discovered that there was so much more out in the world, and I wanted more of this. How was I going to get out there and get some of this and change my life? So I looked at different options, and eventually I handed my notice in at the bars. I went off to retrain, and I retrained as a teacher of English, as a foreign language, and I also backed that up with my business studies. So for the next 5 or 8 years I was living in Hungary and also in France, and I was teaching English and business English. I went into different companies, telecommunications, gas companies, and I was also working for language schools. Doing this, it gave me a really good balance between work time, home time, that work-life balance. I was also able to meet many fantastic people, grow as a person, get value from the whole experience. I did come back to the UK to help my father build a bungalow, so something quite different. My father's been in the construction industry as a project manager, and he's got a very wide skill set, and he took plans to a completed house, which I came back to England and I started that project with him. We came to winter and I went off and went into employment. When I'm in the UK, I've always worked in food and food production, whether that's been ready meals, dairy processing, free-range egg packing. My last 2 roles, I've been on the senior management team. I've been production and improvement manager, so looking at processes, people, teams, efficiencies, throughputs, using Lean Six Sigma, and these tools to give benefits to the business. Now, unfortunately, 3 years ago, the dairy company I was working for, they closed the site I worked at. I was being made redundant. My income stream was cut off. I did the hard work and I found a dream job. I joined a small family business. Had 3 great years there. I've been able to take the experience, my skills from a blue chip company and embed them into a young, small, family-owned business and see the changes that I and the rest of the team put in place and how that company changed. Now, unfortunately, some weeks ago that company went into administration, and once again, my income, it's gone. Now, at this point in my life, I'm looking to change. As I said, I want to become an online entrepreneur. I want to understand what's out there, what's possible. What can I do for myself? What skills have I learned over my lifetime? What have I got that's transferable that I can use online with a computer and an internet connection? There's other motivators behind me wanting to take this journey as well. I'm a single dad. I've got a daughter, she's 8 years old, coming up 9 in November. Presently in my life, when I was working, before I was made redundant, before the company went into liquidation, I always felt that I was rushing from one place to another. I was never where I should be at that time, and I should be somewhere else. And I also felt that I was starting to lose myself and who I was, or who I am. From getting up in the morning, getting her dressed, getting school uniform, making the sandwiches, dropping her at the place so they could drop her at school, getting to work, finishing work, coming home, cooking the evening meal, trying to have some quality time, but feeling exhausted by that point in the day. I wasn't giving my daughter value. I didn't think she would look back on these days and think how great they were. So I want to change this. Now, I understand and I can work hard, and I'm sure whatever the next steps in the process are, they're going to involve hard work. But I want the flexibility to be able to work around my life instead of fixed 9 till 5. I could see it in the companies where I work for. I wanted to get in, I wanted to deliver. I wanted to have things set in place, and I wanted to get out. I wanted to deliver quality over quantity. But I could see how other people behaved and reacted. This doesn't fit with businesses and how people expect you to behave in businesses. It's very much more about quantity and not always quality driven. Now, personally, my morals, my integrity, I want to bring quality and honesty, transparency to whatever it is I do. And I promise all of you guys out there, I'm going to be transparent and honest with you. Now, hopefully some of the things I've said resonate with you. I'd like you to comment below, like, or even subscribe. We can go on this journey together. I'll be sharing with you what works, what doesn't, and how to go from an employee to an entrepreneur. Now, we've got a lot of hard work in front of us, but I'm sure we can do this together. So, from Online Wealth Now, where you can own it, learn, earn, and prosper now, I'd like to say goodbye, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.